شغال.
So what time is it now?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
We started what, 9:20?
9:20.
9:20?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we're good.
9:22.
We pray Isha and then we'll
Right. No.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له اشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا رمضان أما بعد نسأل الله تبارك وتعالى يتقبل منا جميعا أسأل الله to accept from us all. ويرفعنا بها درجات في الدنيا والآخرة. That He raises by the worship in this life and in the hereafter. ويغفر لنا ذنوبنا. Ameen. Forgives us for our sins. واسرع في أمرنا وانصرنا على القوم الظالمين. That He helps us in our affairs, straighten them, and helps us against the wrongdoing people. This is the second night for us here in the blessed month of Ramadan. وَنَحْمَدَ اللَّهِ. We should be happy, we should praise Allah. Inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala, we just have little left. And we did it different tonight as we opened the salat by telling the people we're going to pray 4 and 4. 4 as opposed to 2. Assalamu alaikum to the right, to the left, but 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you make your tashahhud and you taslim. Then you pray another 4 the same way you will taslim. How much is that 4 and 4?
8.
وَمَا بَقِيَ مِنَ الصَّلَاةِ
3.
أيوة صح. And this our mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha and other Sahaba like Anas bin Malik and those that used to pray with the Prophet regularly, inside of Ramadan and outside, they reported used to pray different ways. It depends on your energy, how your body feel, your iman, because of course if your iman is dragging, 2 might kill you. When you're lazy, you don't feel good, you're stressed out, you did a lot of sin, but when your iman is like, yes, you're ready to take it on. So sometimes the Prophet, he prayed straight 9. Then he did 10, 11, 2 extra, and that was his 11 for the night. So this is the way of our Prophet Sallallahu. There's no blame if you do it this way, that way, but for me, I want you all to taste the sweetness of this worship because I have experience of all of it my days in Yemen. You don't know what it's like learning Sunnah and then seeing people really practicing it like that. Yes, it's amazing. So we hope Allah writes us down. At least we can say we prayed it different in the life that we lived once according to the Sunnah. We mixed it up. Likewise, the Qunut. The Prophet didn't always make the Qunut. One time we didn't do it, somebody went crazy. Astaghfirullah, haram, akhi, khata, ma fish Qunut. I can take it easy. He was bugging, as they say. Or as they say, he was doing the most. La hawla wa la quwwata billah. So we have to learn the religion and know that Allah has made the deen wasi, or yusran, easy to apply, and He has made it vast. 4 points I want to make, 5 points I want to make tonight briefly, quickly. The first one, the month is in. Everybody should be fasting. But in the beginning, some people had a problem when they heard Saudiya has announced that Ramadan starts tonight and they're going to fast the next day. And sometimes it's political. We just have to be straight. Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned, Ya ayyuhan nas inna khalaqnakum min dhakrin wa madha Made you male and female. Do you think like Allah mentioned that for no reason? Obviously speaking, somebody is a certain way towards the females. What was the way of the Arabs before Islam with the females? Somebody tell me quickly.
They were
Kick
listed.
them. Kick.
Huh?
Bury them.
Bury them, kill them, somebody else.
Discriminated against.
Discriminated against, somebody else.
Misogynist.
Misogynist, somebody else. Just low down to them, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had no rights. Even like here in America during the early time of slavery, people don't like to talk about that. It's uncomfortable. Somebody's probably squirming already. Here he go, somebody's saying. But really, in America, not only blacks were considered like human cattle to the white man, the slave master. Guess who else was considered like that to them?
The white woman.
They're a white woman. Heck of that. That's where all the liberation come, to smoke and look sexy on the pad. We're doing us. We're going to be free. We're going to be liberal. We don't run us. All of the movements the white women came with was because of that issue. So here, when Allah Ta'ala mentioned He created us nations and tribes, male and female, He's saying that because obviously there's a problem with us. So when you talk about somebody not wanting to accept from the African countries, that's real. Remember, a couple of years ago, we had unanimously shuyukh, we knew personally Shaikh Muhammad Loh, Ahmed Loh from Senegal. They were professors in Jamaat Islamiyah, some of the strongest ulama in Africa. We had some of our other ulama, and what they don't like to say Africa, but Egypt is Africa. Abu Mawjoud and Sheikh Abu Ishaq al-Hawaini and our Sheikh Mustafa Adawi, that we visit them, we know them. They spotted it in the Gambia, they spotted it all different places. A lot of people don't want to take it. But if it came out of Saudiya, khalas, Allah too. So we say this issue is a problem because in the Sahih Muslim, there's a narration about Muawiyah when he was the Amir al-Mu'mineen and Fadl, the mother of Abdullah ibn Abbas and his brother Fadl, and Abdullah ibn Abbas, he left Sham and arrived in Medina. Now everybody was fasting. When they got to Medina, what was happening in Medina? Huh? Anybody know? When he left Sham and arrived in Medina, what was he doing in Medina? Quickly. Hey, who was that? Isam?
Yeah, Sam.
Like that fake. I know Sam in the house. MashaAllah. Sheikh Malikiya. But when they were in Sham, when he left, they were still doing what? Fasting. So they said to him, hey, look, man, Ramadan's over. Eat, break. What did Abdullah ibn Abbas do? Did he break or he kept his fast?
He broke.
Kept his
Kept his fast. No. So that's what's called athar, meaning it's a narration about the Sahaba. It's not what the Prophet did. ولكن حكمه مرفوع. حكمه ماذا مرفوع وتابعته. Meaning as if it happened in the time of the Prophet because he said هكذا أمرنا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is what the Prophet taught us to do. Meaning you can't break your fast if you reach somewhere and you started the day fast and other people broke it. You have to finish. So what's the ishkal? The point here is that some people try to take that and say you can't use, for example, somebody else's sighting. We have to look and see it. Prophet Sallam said, يعني صوموا إذا ماذا رؤيتكم وإفطروا إذا ماذا. When you see it, break it, and when you see it, start it. But that's just one narration. So this, the ulama, when he talk about this quickly, it's impossible for him to break his fast because it's Eid in Medina. When he left, it wasn't in Sham because he's going to owe what? A day. And who is he going to be indebted to? The people or Allah. So understand this principle. If it was a way that he could have broke and not owe the day, he would have. Imagine you leave here, the people fasting. you get to New Jersey, the next day they say 8, and you fasting and it's 10 in the morning. You can't break that fast. Because fasting is farad ayn or farad kifaya. Is it on every Muslim or is it just the group do it, we okay? Farad ayn, everybody has to do it. So with the technology, and another point, it's no way that the people in Sham could have got that narration that quick that, oh, they spotted it in El Medina. But can we do that now? Yeah. So as long as the knowledge reaches you, and this is what we mentioned, we did the 5-minute dose in Maghrib, Allah Azza said, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ شَهْرًا مَاذَا فَلْيَصُمْ. Then whoever, so shahida here, normally people look at me like this. We're looking to see, can we see it ourselves? But the ulama, they explain what's meant by shahida is فَمَنْ حَضَرَ مِنْكُمُ, whoever is alive when it comes in. Why? Because you have other narrations where people narrated and they didn't see it. For example, Ibn Umar. He was the only one who seen it in the narration. In Bukhari and Muslim, he told the Prophet said, then tell the people to start fasting. So that's a proof you don't have to see it with the naked eye. As long as it's a credible, reputable Muslim that is an upright person and they are sound, then you can take that narration. Now, so that's one point I want to mention. That narration in Muslim does not mean we can't take somebody's ikhbar, somebody's narration that they spotted it. No. But the time that you start must be according to your time zone. Like we do. We're 5 hours behind, 8 hours behind, so it doesn't bother us. Now, the other point, that's one. Point number 2, when you talk about the issue of waking up in a state of junub. Some people think if I wake up and I had a wet dream, or I had relations at night, I went to sleep and woke up, it's Fajr, guess what? I can't fast because I have to be in a state of purity. But that's not true. Aisha, Salama, many narrations to the Prophet woke up in a state where he needed to bathe from the night before, and he started his fast, although he was in that particular state due to relationships. So that's the second misconception. If you wake up and you have to make ghusl and Fajr's in, you fast. Don't say, well, I can't fast because I'm not into heart. No. Everybody understand? Everybody understand?
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay? Because some people, they don't know, they make this misconception. The third thing is that we mentioned, Barakallahu fikum, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, whoever prays behind the Imam. Whoever prays behind the Imam حتى ينصرف فكأنه صلى ليلة كاملة كلها أو كما قال. It's like you get credit for praying the whole night. So we didn't pray the Jews. Let's not watch it. People have made it customary. Put that on the Imam, put that on the people, and in reality, that's for your worship. If you can do it, you do it. Some Salaf, they finished the Quran in 3 days. And the Prophet said, don't finish the whole Quran in less than 3 days. But in Ramadan, some people did it and he was quiet. Why? Because they had that zeal and ability. The ones who didn't finish the Quran in 1 day, he left them alone. Some did it in 3 days, 7 days, 15 days, once in the month, meaning the whole Ramadan. So, the gauge is not a Jews a day finish the Quran in Ramadan. Some did it twice in Ramadan, 3 times in Ramadan. It depends on what you can do, what you're striving for. It's not a communal issue, but we made it like that. And if people want to do it, it's okay. It's not a burden, no problem. But I feel it's easier to pray swaya. The people get the reward. They're not tired. They have for sure. They go home. People have to work. People have this, that. So we chose to do that. There's no any blame on us for that. The fourth thing is that there's a misconception that you can't say Ramadan. You have to say the month of Ramadan. You can't say that Ramadan comes. You have to say that Shahru Ramadan. We mentioned that too. Shahru means month. Ramadan is the name of the month. Because some people, they say, فَإِنَّ Ramadan min asma'illah. From the names of Allah is Ramadan. And the ulama, they said the word Ramadan comes from Ramadan, which means to extinguish the fire. So the Ramadan, the medda on the meme and the noon, this is sigal to mubalagha, as to exaggerate that this month will really put out you from going to the fire. But this is not from the names of Allah Ta'ala. That's what Salami said, the hadith Abu Hurairah, إِذَا جَاءَ Ramadan. Now, when Ramadan comes, he said that the devils are what? But this has an explanation too, by the way. We'll bring that tomorrow. That's the treat. What is the meaning of the devils were chained and they were locked away? But know for sure you can say Ramadan. It's not incorrect because the Prophet mentioned Shahru Ramadan. Like in the Quran, they mention Ramadan without saying the word Shahru, which means month. So you can do it. Those people are wrong. That narration in the Sahih of Khuzaymah is Da'ib Jidden. Some said Mawdu'a, fabricated, so be aware. And the last thing, the last point for tonight, that is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned the issue of Bilal. The issue of Bilal when it comes to Ramadan. He said, Kulu washrabu hatta yunadi man. Bilal. La. Hatta yunadi Abdullah ibn Maktoum. He said, Inna Bilal yunadi fil layl. Bilal, he calls the adhan fil layl, meaning Fajr didn't come yet. فَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يُنَادِي Abdullah ibn Maktoum. So eat and drink until you hear the blind man call the adhan. In fact, that blind man, many people don't know, he was from the ulama of his people. And he was the head of his tribe. And the Prophet made him mu'adhin, and he's the same one. He wanted to ask the Prophet a question. The Prophet Abasa wa tawalla, frowned and turned away when he was given da'wah. So this man, he has virtue. But the Prophet, the point, said you eat and drink until that man calls the adhan. So what does that prove? That proves all of those calendars with imsak. You stop 45 minutes before, a half hour before, 22 minutes before. That means those calendars are what? False. You eat and drink until you know it's Fajr. And if you are eating and drinking, and you think, oh, I still have time, but your clock is wrong or something, then there's no sin on you because you, the ulama, they say, didn't intend on it, but the point is you eat and drink until you know that it's Fajr, and even if you have something in front of you, as Abdullah ibn Umar was eating, and they said, we're praying, meaning it's Salat time in Ramadan. He said, I know. He was finishing what he had, but don't go get a stack of pancakes and eggs and sausage. He said, I know, and you're eating 20 minutes, 30 minutes after Fajr comes in. No, not like that. So these are 5 the benefits from misconceptions that the people, they have with regards to Ramadan. And let's go to to bless us to understand the deen and apply it in our lives in a practical, understandable way. Let's go to increase us in iman, to increase us in all that's good, and to bless us and our families for that which we have done in this month, and to bless us to continue upon the path of goodness. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. And I want to thank you all for your patience sitting, benefiting, and thank the people who provided the food and drink. May Allah bless you all. Karamakum Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Lana salatu raka'atan salatu al-witr, Shaikh wal-witr.